Hey guys, welcome back to Things You Might Like. This is Mike, and today I wanted to do a follow-up video to one I did previously about a program called PUBGSUMO. Now, I wanted to do this recap because there has been a ton of controversy about this program, and so I wanted to clear a few things up and give you my opinions about the program after, a couple months after I initially installed it. So if you guys like this video, be sure to drop it a like, and if it's your first time here, consider subscribing for more content like this. I like to focus on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and do tips and tricks videos so we can all get better and get those chicken dinners together. So with that, let's jump right into it. For the unacquainted, I recommend you go to this site right here for further explanation about what PUBGSUMO is, but in brief, it's a program that runs in the background, gathers information about you in your game, and then spits it out to a live map in a browser window. So I want to dive in real quick to some of the UI changes they've made since the last time I talked about it, though the only real notable one is going to be those black parallel lines that show the parachuting distance you have from the plane. I actually really like these. I'm a big proponent of really dialing in that parachute drop because if you're dropping into high traffic areas, then those initial seconds are going to be absolutely critical. So this is really helpful with that. And if you haven't seen my video about how to do the perfect parachute drop, I'll put that in the top right corner and a link in the video description below. So now let's get into the real nitty-gritty of the conversation that's going around PUBGSUMO and like third-party applications, and that is this cheating? And honestly, no, it's not. Anyone who's played the game for a little while, take a look at the map that's in front of you. Take a look at it. Take a real good look. All the little circles are possible vehicle spawns. It's not saying, hey, there is a vehicle here. The lines are recommended paths to places that have high loot, but based off of the plane path, probably won't have a lot of traffic. Is there anything here that you don't already know? Think about that. Is there anything you're looking at on this map that is giving you new information? Now, perhaps it's just adapting the information to where you are at in the game right now, but if you've played long enough, this is nothing new. There's nothing here. Of course, if you get a vehicle and you go up to Yaz, there's not going to be as much traffic and it's a great loot spot. All this program is doing is saying, hey, based off of the current flight path or based off of where you are, this is what I recommend you do off of this information that you'll get just from playing the game like normal. Now, this really hit home when after I made my previous video and I used it for probably just like a week or so, I just stopped using it. Now, maybe part of that was because it is still definitely buggy, and I'll actually get into that in a second, but it didn't provide enough information that it was worth it to me to make sure I had it open, I had it running. I was willing to give up some of my CPU power because this does run in the background, does take some of that CPU power. So if anything is a testament to its usability, especially for those who are more acquainted with the game and with the vehicle spawns of the map and whatnot, this just isn't cheating, guys. It just isn't. Now, right when the game first came out, if this was released alongside with it and people weren't as familiar, I could see there maybe being an argument because it's giving people training on the map that other people haven't had the chance to do because of how short the game has been out. But the game has been out for plenty long. It's people have hundreds and hundreds of hours in the game, so there's no new information that this is giving you. And on top of that, this has always been free and available to everyone. Now, I will admit, the only claim that this is okay to use is by PUBGSUMO themselves. They said they spoke with the developers, and that is something that I have not been able to get verification on, but there have been streamers who have been sponsored by this program, streamers that I trust. Some people don't like streamers, that's fine, but these are people that I do trust, and I don't think they would stake their reputation on something that is considered a hack. In fact, they probably took the deal, did the sponsored stream, and they probably don't use it because it's just not that helpful once you've played the game. And the last noteworthy thing that I want to point out is just how buggy this program is. Honestly, I mean, it can never be considered a hack just because it's a terrible program. You're giving up your CPU power for something that regularly crashes. Just making this video was a huge headache because I couldn't get the footage I really needed because I couldn't get the program to work or to keep crashing my computer. There was a number of issues with it. I mean, just look at this scenario right here. The map is just loading and I am nowhere near the plane path that it thinks I'm taking. And then on that same map, look where it puts the circle. That is not where the circle was, people. It is just completely off, constantly needs to be reset. I mean, it just struggles on all fronts. Now, I hope you notice all the jumping around that the map has been doing, just like that. Now, that's not me doing cutscenes. That's the map trying to catch up and trying to make sense of what's happening. Now, as you bask in the awe of just how terrible this program is running right now, I wanted to consider the question, is it useless? Is this something that just needs to be getting rid of, or does it have a future? And I think it does have a future. I think there is absolutely a place for this. In fact, I think because there's a bit of learning curve with every game, but this game, because it's such a different style, I wouldn't mind Bluehole actually fully endorsing a specific program as a help to beginners so they can kind of get used to the map. Something that they phase out of as they play. They realize that they just no longer need this help for them to play the game. And in fact, there is one feature that I think maybe should even make it into the game. It's the only one that actually gives you what I would consider new information, when really it's just doing some calculations and spitting out some numbers. And that is, it gives you the time you have left before you need to start running or start driving to make it to the white circle. In this broken instance here, you can see that it says I need to start driving in 5.5 minutes if I'm going to make it into the white circle before the blue hits me. And I think that's really helpful, especially if you guys heard recently that Bluehole is considering upping the damage that the blue circle causes. If this is the case, any extra help to just kind of give us a prod in the right direction saying, hey, you need a boogie, you don't have a car, and since you're on foot, you need to start running in 30 seconds if you expect to make it into the white circle. I think that's a really cool feature, actually. Some people may not like it. Okay, you don't have to use it, but I personally have died enough in the blue circle that little help, even just an audio cue to say, hey, it's time to start moving, I think that's really neat, and it would be cool if there was an option to be able to have that in-game. So let's go over the 3 main points that I'm wanting to make with this. The first of which is, I think this program and these types of applications absolutely have their place, and I think in the future they'll continue to have their place. I think for beginners, this is a wonderful way to get your feet wet, get you familiar with the game, and understand the maps a little bit better. Secondly, PUBGSUMO is a wreck right now. I hope they fix this. I hope they can find a way to make this a lot more usable, but at this moment, it is absolutely unusable. It is not worth the time and energy to troubleshoot it so you can get that information with each game. Just get in there and play and you'll figure it out. And before I get to the last point, if you guys wouldn't mind liking this video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel. If you are interested in more discussions like this or tips and trick videos, I have plenty with many more to come. So lastly, is this cheating? The main point of this whole video, is this cheating? And no, it's not cheating, guys. It just doesn't provide enough information. It's not useful enough to be considered cheating. If this was cheating, you would hear a whole lot more about it right now. So if you don't like the program, don't use it. And if you really have a concern about someone else using this program, then I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, I'm not that threatened if someone else has this running in the background. It's eating their CPU power, and if they are novice enough that they need something like this to tell them what to do and where to go, it's just not a huge concern to me. And that's the big takeaway message here. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope it generates some discussion and opens your eyes a little bit to just what these types of programs are all about. My name is Mike. This is Things You Might Like, and I'll see you guys with my next cool thing.